It ain't but one guy. Hold on. It's just one guy. We ain't but one guy. It ain't but one guy keeping him away from him. That's Terence Crawford. Hey, but one guy.
Everyone in the room picked you to win. Everyone that I asked. Everyone.
Except for me, guess what?
Because I heard he could really play.
No. He can't even be Shakur.
He can't fuck with me.
So, you.
What's Shakur lied to you?
You lost. I seen the videos.
You ain't seen my video.
Oh, I didn't.
Exactly.
I just seen the video.
Exactly. What would happen? Exactly.
Now that you take care of business, how does you and Devin Haney in? How does that fight go?
Knockout.
Say this.
Devin Haney being at 147, he called Devin Haney out. What do you think about that fight if it's 1 or 2 fights away?
It's kind of a tough fight right now because Devin Haney is right back at the top of his game. Devin showed that the weight loss was probably causing him to not have as good punch resistance, and it also probably wasn't causing him to have as much power or explosiveness as he has. He showed tremendous power, tremendous punch resistance in that fight against Norman, and for him to do that means that the weight was probably an issue. Now, if Keyshawn comes up, or if they even do a catch weight, a 143, 144, it's gonna be a very interesting fight because I think Devin has more tools and more IQ right now, but Keyshawn is different. So when you got a guy that's different, and that's why I also said that.
Terence Crawford warns Devin Haney, betting on Keyshawn Davis, insisting Haney will struggle against Davis's power and relentless style.
I said I guarantee he'll beat you though.
How you gonna bet on somebody else?
I'm gonna bet on him against you.
I will beat you.
No, you can't beat me, but I bet he beat you and I beat him.
Terence Crawford warns Devin Haney, saying the sport will chew him up if he underestimates Keyshawn Davis's power and hunger.
How the sport chew you up and spit you out. You know, out with the old and with the new.
Ali, well, as y'all were asking questions, I think about Muhammad Ali.
Keyshawn Davis, backed by Shakur Stevenson, and Terence Crawford, like brothers, learns everything from Shakur, who insists it's Keyshawn's time.
Even when we kinda having our, nah, f that, nigga. Come on.
Yeah.
We getting past that, and that was your turn. And I'm not gonna allow and sit back and allow you to even waste that talent that you got. Cause I've been told, Key, for years, bro, you could be one of the best. All you gotta do is just, boom, discipline.
You know, with both of y'all being the best, they always gonna want it. And
they gotta come with it.
You know they always gonna want to see it, though. You know everybody always gonna want to see it.
We get to see it.
I want to see it.
Keyshawn Davis confirms ongoing negotiations, promising the Devin Haney fight will happen in 2026, marking a highly anticipated showdown.
Devin said, let's do it. You know, I know he's dealing with some legal issues. I don't know what happened. He said he had to turn himself in, but I believe he tweeted like, Keyshawn, let's do it. I mean,
he said that?
Yeah, but he tweeted like something like that. Yeah.
Well, you know, Bill was in my DMs. We already was talking about it, honestly, before he even hit the media. So I know it's going to happen in 2026.
And you're good going straight to Devin in your first fight at 47?
If it make money, it makes sense.
Right. So obviously I want to get your take on your brother. Shakur, dominant performance.
Roy Jones Jr. praises Keyshawn Davis, highlighting his elite opponents and remarkable speed, calling him a rising star in boxing.
Good competition. He's fought some elite guys. He's come up short, but he's always fought hard. He's never been stopped. I thought Keyshawn looked really, really good early on in that fight. He looked very poised, and Jermaine was fighting a fight that you typically don't see him fight. Jermaine is known for being very physical, very rough, and he's gonna make it dirty if he has to. He was laying back, and it looked like he was allowing Keyshawn to take some ground and get established, but then Ortiz flipped the script and changed the game plan. He started to get into his normal bag of roughhousing and making things dirty. And I said, man, I like that. I was telling Shakur, I was in the locker room watching. I said, I like what he did right there because he went away, let you get comfortable. And then he said, no, here I am. I'm going to be the guy that you actually thought you was going to be fighting, but I'm not going to do it in the first round. You saw Keyshawn have to make some adjustments too, and I love.
Roy Jones Jr. advises Keyshawn Davis to take 1 or 2 more fights before challenging Devin Haney for greater readiness.
He's different. You understand me? So when you gotta have that intangibleness about him, where he can be a different guy when it's time to be a different guy. You can never count him out. However, if I were pushing Keyshawn, I would have another fight or 2 before I fight Devin, just for experience purposes. And if I was Devin, I would try to jump on it right now before he gets those couple fights, because the more experience he gets, the harder he's gonna become to beat.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough fight. you know, for Keyshawn Davis. And I think in many respects, Devin Haney too. You can't take Keyshawn Davis light. He can really fight. He's really like that. The weight difference is a concern, and it's a fair question. Is he ready now? Is he ready a fight or two from now? But that's the fight, really. If you really want to have, you want to scream, "I'm back." That's the type of fight that you want, because obviously it's in the Turkey Al-Sheikh universe, and that's a fight that's gonna get made.
Greg Hackett gave his honest take on the potential clash between Keyshawn Davis and Devin Haney, keeping it real about why boxing needs fights like this. According to Hackett, these are the kinds of matchups that elevate the sport because both fighters know each other's strengths and weaknesses, making the stakes even higher. He emphasized that fans want to see the best fight the best. Haney versus Shakur Stevenson, Haney versus Teofimo Lopez, and now Davis versus Haney. These are the battles that separate elite fighters from the rest, because the B-class and C-class opponents simply cannot keep up physically or mentally.
The reason we need fights like that is because there's things each one of them know about each other. They know that those are great fights. We need those fights. We need those fights. We need the Dev and Shakur. We need the Dev and Tio. We need the Africa and Shakur, the Africa and Tio. Then we need the Gary Antoine mixed in there. We need the Lamont Roach mixed in there. It's a lot of guys. The Abdullah Masons mixed in there. It's a lot of guys we need mixed in there. You know what I'm saying? These are the fights we need. Those other guys, the B-class, C-class guys, they can't keep up with them, either physically or mentally, or both together. They can't keep up with them. You see it.
What kind of message do you think Keyshawn, made it in possibly the 40 to 47 division, beating Jermaine Ortiz the way he did?
I mean, I don't know. 47 is a different division. That was at 140.
Hackett also addressed Davis's recent win over Jermaine Ortiz, noting that while it was impressive at 140 pounds, the move to 147 will be a different challenge. Still, he doesn't believe Davis is too small for the division, pointing out that fighters often look bigger on television than they do in person. For Hackett, the real question is whether Davis can maintain consistency and composure as he climbs the ranks. With his talent, pedigree, and hunger, Hackett sees Davis as capable of holding his own, and a fight with Haney would be exactly the type of high-level showdown boxing needs.
Keyshawn,
is he too small for 147? He looked good at 40.
No, I don't think he's too small. I don't think he's too small. These guys only look real big on TV. When you see these guys in person, they don't be that big. You know what I'm saying? So he's not too small. No. The thing is, with Keyshawn, can he keep it together? Can he keep it together mentally? If he can keep it together mentally, then we see great fights out of Keyshawn. If he do that he say he been doing, which I don't know if he was lying or not, saying that he was drinking in camp and shit like that, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's a lie. I don't know if it's, if he was telling the truth. I don't know. But if he can keep it together mentally, then we see great fights out of Keyshawn.
Say Keyshawn Davis and Devin Haney happen next. Who would you favor?
It's tough to say.
An analyst recently weighed in on Keyshawn Davis's bold claim that nobody can beat him from 140 to 147 pounds. Davis has been vocal about wanting to fight Devin Haney and then move up to welterweight, a division that many believe is currently stagnant. The analyst explained that welterweight is dry right now, with limited fresh matchups available. Established names like Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios, and others are already tied up, leaving the division in need of new energy.
Pretty much 40 to 47. And he says he wants to fight Jermaine Ortiz and then move up to welterweight, which would be perfect because, like I told you, I really am the best in this business. Like, everything I say is like clockwork, right? It's amazing to me. Sometimes I amaze myself. So what am I talking about? I literally just said welterweight is dry. It's a stale, stagnant, horrible division right now. Not too many ways to mix and match the guys. And then the guys you could mix and match are pretty much busy. The Ryans, the Barrioses, and the Rollies, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video. And I told you it's going to require, this is how it works in the sport of boxing. I know because I've been here.
According to the analyst, the sport of boxing thrives when fighters move up in weight, creating new rivalries and opportunities. He pointed to examples like Jaron Boots Ennis, who left 147 for 154, sparking excitement in that division with names like Sebastian Fundora, Virgil Ortiz, Jermell Charlo, and Errol Spence. The same formula, he argued, could revitalize welterweight if rising stars like Davis, Shakur Stevenson, and Gary Antoine Russell make the jump. For Davis, the move would not only test his skills against bigger opponents, but also give fans the high-level matchups they crave. The analyst believes Davis's confidence and ambition could be exactly what the welterweight division needs to regain momentum and attract major attention.
When people can't make 40 anymore, just like Jaron Boots Ennis couldn't make 47, and he moved up to 154, now 54 is cracking. They got 54 out here cracking. Tons of names where you can mix and match the Fundoras, the Virgil Ortiz, Jermell Charlo, possibly Errol Spence, Murda Zylev, Boots, right? You got tons of ways you can mix and match these people. 47 right now is dry, so it's going to take Shakur's and the Keyshawns and Gary Antoine Russells or the El Rayos, you know, different Edwin De Los Santos, Matias, different guys to move up to start to purge and like fill out the division. Right now, it's not many options. Again, Devin versus Louis Crockpot is a terrible fight, and I don't know anyone that wants to see it.
Keyshawn Davis has officially announced that he will fight Lewis Crocker before stepping into the ring with Devin Haney, despite previously calling Haney out immediately after his knockout win over Jermaine Ortiz. This move has stirred debate among fans and analysts who point out that Davis never mentioned Crocker in the post-fight interview, instead focusing entirely on Haney's name. Now, with a deal in place, Davis insists that facing Crocker first is part of his strategy to gain leverage in negotiations with Haney.
You'll fight Devin Haney. So, after you knocked out Jermaine Ortiz, let me get this straight. After you stopped Jermaine Ortiz, you made no mention of Louis Crocker. The first name you called out was Devin Haney, and the only name. Unless I missed the rest of the interview. And now you saying you had a deal in place to fight Louis Crocker next. And then if it's worth your while, then you'll fight Devin Haney. Because, and I get it, he believes that he needs to get this belt from Louis Crocker for them to value him the way he wants to be valued.
The reasoning is clear. Crocker holds a belt that Davis believes will elevate his value when the time comes to face Haney. Still, critics argue that calling out Haney while knowing Crocker was next creates confusion and even accusations of clout chasing. Fans expected Davis to go straight into the Haney fight, but boxing politics often dictate otherwise. By securing a win over Crocker, Davis strengthens his bargaining position and adds credibility to his pursuit of Haney. While some view this as a calculated move, others consider it misleading. Regardless, Davis remains one of the sport's most talked about rising stars, and his path toward Haney continues to generate major anticipation.
In a fight and negotiations with leverage with Devin Haney. I get it. So what's the point in calling out Devin Haney? Why didn't you tell the world, I'm going to fight Louis Crocker next? Because he knows it's not going to be acceptable. If he came out and he says, after Jermaine Ortiz, I'm fighting Louis Crocker, he knows that the fans ain't going to accept that. So he's saying Devin Haney multiple times because he understands what Devin Haney represents. This is what many people will call clout chasing. So you're using Devin Haney's name, but you know you have no intentions of fighting him next? Make this make sense. It all makes sense to me.
Floyd Schofield recently dropped a bombshell when giving his thoughts on the potential showdown between Keyshawn Davis and Devin Haney. Schofield acknowledged that both fighters bring excitement to the ring, but he made it clear that he doesn't believe Davis can beat Haney. In his view, Haney's experience and maturity give him the edge, especially after showing a new level of skill and composure in his last fight. Schofield pointed out that Davis looked strong against Jermaine Ortiz, but Ortiz appeared hesitant and never truly imposed himself, which made Davis's performance performance look more dominant than it might have been.
It don't matter which one go up there. Devin is Devin. Devin going to show up. It's going to be a great fight with either one of them. Because Devin took a loss, and he don't want to take another loss, whether he got it cleaned off his record or not. He don't want to take another one.
Fight though, I ain't gonna lie.
Both of them are good fight. I don't think Keyshawn is going to beat Devin. I really don't believe Keyshawn will beat Devin.
Too much experience? Why?
I don't know. I just don't see. But off my prediction yesterday, I'm not gonna get that because people will say things. But skill wise, I don't believe this new Devin that showed up his last fight. Keyshawn is gonna be able to run through like he did Ortiz, a smaller guy who seemed like he didn't want to be in there.
I ain't gonna lie. As much as I don't like Devin, I did not expect Devin to do that to Norm.
Schofield also criticized the stoppage in the Ortiz fight, suggesting the referee gave Davis a gift by ending it too quickly without allowing Ortiz to rise. While he respects Davis's talent and acknowledges his dog mentality, Schofield believes Haney is on another level. He highlighted that Haney absorbed clean shots from opponents without buckling, proving his durability. Still, Schofield admitted that Davis has the skills, size, and speed to make the fight competitive, especially if he sharpens his combinations earlier in bouts. Ultimately, he sees Davis versus Haney as a great matchup, but one where Haney's experience and resilience may prove too much.
And Norm was catching him too and didn't even buckle Devin, so I don't know.
And Keyshawn's performance wasn't great. It was good he stopped him, that the referee gave him a gift. Because the ref stopped it. He didn't even give Ortiz a chance to stand up. Not saying Ortiz would have won, but it wouldn't have been a knockout in that 12 seconds. No, that's what I'm saying, but it wouldn't have been a knockout. The ref gave that gift. He didn't even get his man the count to get up to 8. So, or to 10. So, I don't know. I would want to see the Keyshawn and Devin fight.
Key do got some dog in him, so I would like to see that.
I like the new version of them, though. I like the God more in it. The maturity of seeing them grow up as fathers. Like, yo, just to see these young men get into these points is amazing. And they still in their 20s. So I can imagine them in their 30s.
Keyshawn Davis has made it clear why he wants the fight with Devin Haney. It's about the belts and the legacy. Davis explained that he heard Haney might vacate his titles, and for him, that represents an opportunity to step in and claim them. He sees this as the perfect moment to prove himself at the highest level. Davis acknowledges that Haney brings experience and maturity, but he insists that his own youth, hunger, and skill set make him the more dangerous fighter.
I heard that light-skinned kid might vacate them belts, so we just try to get to them jumps, you know what I'm saying?
Is that a fight? Well, as far as Anthony Yiga goes, what does he bring to the table that can make this a difficult fight?
He's southpaw. I never fought a southpaw in pros yet. This is a 10-round fight, so I feel like if I was him, I feel like he probably gonna try to drown me. I think he'll try to come out fast, pressure me, you know what I'm saying, just try to drown me, you know what I'm saying, because I've never been 10 rounds, and I think that's probably his only way he feel like he can just make something happen, you know what I'm saying, because he know he don't got the skill over me, he know I'm the younger fighter, and he know he has the experience over me, so, you know, why not try to drown the younger fighter, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you watch tape on the opponents, or you just adjust on the fly?
I'm a businessman. I study.
When asked about his preparation, Davis emphasized that he studies every opponent carefully. He doesn't just look for strengths, but also for weaknesses, whether a fighter complains when things get rough, whether they cut easily, or how they react under pressure. For Davis, every detail is a potential advantage. He knows Haney will try to use his experience to test him, but Davis believes Haney cannot match his speed, power, and relentless drive. Davis predicted a knockout, saying Haney won't last once he feels the pressure. Confident and unapologetic, Davis insists this fight is about proving he belongs at the top. For him, beating Haney isn't just another win, it's the statement that he's the future of boxing.
All right, so what are you looking for? Are you looking for strengths? Are you looking for weaknesses? Like, which one do you prioritize?
I look for everything. I look for where you get cut at every single fight. I look for if somebody fights you dirty, do you complain? I look for all that shit, because everything that's a weakness, I'm gonna use to my advantage.
I like it. Prediction for the fight.
I'm gonna knock his ass out. He's getting up out of there. He's getting up out of there. If y'all gamble his bet on that shit, I'm gonna get his ass up out of there.
You referenced Devin Haney possibly vacating the belts.
Yeah.
Do you think
after you get a belt, you'll eventually see him at like 140, 147?
I was about to say shit. Oh, hell yeah. Like, I'd love to go to 140. Like, after I won my first world title, 35, I defended one time. I would have no problem going to 140 and test the waters out there and becoming champion at 2 different weight classes, just holding that shit down. Because I know I can do it.
All right, so give me your hit list in order. Because you've been going at it with Frank, you've been going at it with Dev.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.